but to the victor belong the spoils. So we haven't heard that in, I think, maybe hundreds of years. Now with Venezuela, and we, just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of
All right, so first of all, whenever Trump says they say, nobody said that shit. Nobody.
Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after
This is absolutely ridiculous. First of all, he's polling worse than anyone's ever polled in the U.S., where he's actually president. Why would he be polling higher in Venezuela, where he just bombed them? First of all. Second of all, why would he be running a poll there? He wouldn't. And most people will say he's joking, but he's not joking. He's never joking, people.
So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president. But we're very happy with the president-elect that we have right now, the people that are running it. If you remember Bush with Iraq, they fired the generals, they fired the police, they fired the people that worked in their equivalent of the White House. They fired everybody. And you know what they had? They had a mess. And you know what happened?
Bush, huh? That's weird. So wait, he came into the office and fired everybody. Who does that remind me of? Who came in as the president and fired everybody and then like 2 days later had to rehire half the people he fired because it was a mess?
You know what happened? ISIS formed. Those generals and those soldiers got together. The police got together. They all got together. They formed ISIS. Not going to happen with
people.
us.
So he's just given us the blueprint of what we need to do to get rid of him. ISIS of some sort. Nah, I don't think that's the revolution we want. I think we should do it a better way, but he's on the right track.
So Venezuela has been it's been an incredible situation. We went in. We were very successful, military power like nobody's ever seen. The general, Venezuelan general, said, I was on that site. I said, I've never seen ferocity like that. I've been doing this for 40 years. He said, I've never seen it. They hit us from 17 different, it was
positive, but I'm pretty sure he's saying that the general of the military that he went and supposedly defeated really quick is telling him how great his military is. Like, that does not happen. No time in history has there been a war or engagement where the commander of the losing squad went and was like, oh man, you really got us. That is so stupid. Okay, and also notice how he always says, whenever he says, like no one else has seen before, or like anyone, like no one else has seen, anytime he says something like that, you know he's lying. Or really anytime he opens his mouth, but like no one else has seen before. Just because the reason why no one else has seen the things that you're talking about is because they don't exist. And no one else still has seen it because you're lying. Also, another real quick point, that he's really trying to convince us that a experienced general who's probably been in the military his whole life, or anybody for that matter with any sort of sound mind, is going to tell him that the army that Trump has led, who hasn't ever served in military at all, is the best army he's ever seen, or they've ever seen. And it has to do with Trump. Like Trump, who is a 6-time draft dodger, has anything to do with how the army runs at all right now. Just because he's the commander in chief doesn't mean that he has anything to do with anything good that happens from our military. Trust me. If he actually was involved, he would run it into the ground just like everything else he does.
I've been doing this for 40 years. He said, I've never seen it. They hit us from 17 different, they were all set. They saw that big, beautiful aircraft carrier, the Ford in that case, and planes were pouring off it.
Not an airline pilot or a specialist or expert with jets, but I'm pretty sure that's not the terminology we use when we're talking about planes taking off. Pouring off of it, off the aircraft carrier. He's the commander-in-chief of the military, and he doesn't know how to say that jets were taken off from the aircraft carrier. Am I right? Mark? Exactly.